So, some of you are probably aware that I've bought quite a few bundles recently from Vinted and eBay for games. And to be fair, my biggest bundle hasn't shown up yet. I've been told about 75% of those games are coming with manuals, but I'm really hoping that the bundle is better than this one. I'm going to say I'm incredibly disappointed with this, but it's the risk you take with buying bundles online. And I'm going to give no fault to the seller whatsoever. They could be from any walk of life. They might not have a clue about games or anything like that. I'm not going to blame the seller, but I'm going to say with the product I received, I'm not too happy with it. I'm happy with some of the games, but I'm incredibly disappointed with others. And this was bought from Vinted, and on the in their description, it doesn't say anything about condition, manuals, or anything like that. But the one thing that really bugged me is basically you get a quality, if you go to eBay, you get near mint, untested, CIB, no manual, things like that. And you can also put acceptable, good, very good, new, brand new and sealed, that sort of stuff. On Vinted, it's satisfactory, then you've got good, very good, new with tags, new without tags, and conditions and stuff like that. This one, I'm going to say overall the bundle at best was good. I'm going to say a lot of stuff in here was satisfactory, which is the lowest grade you can get. Yeah, this person had this bundle listed as very good condition. Not just good, very good condition. So I did kind of expect a little bit better than what I got. And these are all PS2 games. I'm not going to go over the top with my complaints. I'm not going to kick off and stuff at the end of the day, because if I was to buy these games in CEX, they have a value of £91. Overall, including buyer protection and shipping, I paid 30 quid. So I've paid a third of the CEX price for these games. Now that is an absolute bargain. And I mean, it is just principle. If you're selling stuff online for other people to buy, if you're putting it down as very good condition, check it and just make sure it's actually very good condition. At best, this was good. I probably would have listed it myself as satisfactory, because I'm going to put a picture up on screen before we even get into opening showing you the games and stuff. It looks like they have let their cat or dog scratch these discs. They were that badly damaged, to the point where I'm actually a little bit worried about putting these discs in my PS2 to test them. I'm going to, because you never know. There could be, by some miracle, they could work. But I highly doubt it. They're probably just going to sit in my drawer, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I have a bunch of games in there already that don't work. Sleeping Dogs, absolutely gutted about it, but it's got some scratches that probably cause it to hang. It hangs really badly on the 360 when you get to the loading screen to load into the game. So you can't actually play the game. You just go main menu, try loading in, and it just hangs on that loading screen. But yeah, them scratches were really bad. At the same time as having some bad, there were some really interesting. I actually show one of the receipts off, but there are receipts in some of these games, and I mean a lot of them are from, I'm guessing, a shop called Granger Games, and I can't stand it when shops put those stupid stickers around the middle of the disc. I can't remember what shop it was when I was younger that used to do it, but there's been lots and lots of shops over the years that have, and I don't even know if that shop's about anymore, because the receipts that I saw for this shop for these games, one of them dated I think 2009 and the other one dated 2008, so we're talking these games were bought from the shop 16 and 17 years ago. And I find that stuff fascinating. I think I've got a PS1 game that's got a receipt in it from the late 90s, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think it's brilliant that you can get these receipts. You can see the history of the game. I absolutely love it. But we're going to jump into the bundle now. Again, I'm going to talk about every single game. With the 360 games that I've recently covered, it was a lot more difficult to talk about them, just purely because everything in that bundle was very good condition. They all had their manuals. Their discs were clean. There was the only problem I saw was a little crack in the corner of, I think it was the Diablo 3 case. Everything else was really good condition, and not only that, the person put bubble wrap on top of every disc to protect them in transit, which you don't often see. But I mean, as I've said, the title of this video, this is the risk of buying bundles online that are full of video games. You never know what you're going to get until it turns up. And as I said, I've got an absolute bargain on this, so I left the person 5 stars, left feedback, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you're buying games, it's just risky in general anyway. I'm not going to put them at fault for it. They might not be into gaming or anything like that. I don't know how they got their hands on these games, so I'm not going to blame them for the condition. I'm just going to, I've left the feedback, just going to move on, buy some more bundles and hope and pray that I don't get some as bad as this in the future. I mean, if not even worse. Saying all that, I went to order a bundle. I was fuming because I left the person an offer because I felt they were a little bit overpriced. There was 32 games in the bundle. So I've tried knocking a few quid off, sent an offer. It was about 10 minutes or so later, they accepted the offer. This is on Vinted as well. I've gone straight to that offer. I've clicked on buy now. I've put in, I selected Apple Pay because I use an iPhone. I've paid for the product. As soon as I pay, the listing title updates and it goes from 32 games to 29. I messaged the person and I said, just asking, why has it changed to 29? And they said, because as you was paying for the bundle, somebody had messaged and bought 3 games off me separately. So they had the cheek to try and sell me less games than what I had paid for. So I just immediately said, right, I'm going to cancel it then. I'm not going to do it. And luckily, Vinted aren't that strict with refunds and stuff. I got my money refunded. The person accepted it. They was like, no problem. It is what it is. If you're selling and you've got a big bundle, don't go and give someone else games separately out of that bundle and then just simply change the title of it after someone's paid for the fucking thing. Like, imagine I had paid, it wasn't a massive amount of money, but it's just principle. Imagine I had paid the full amount, not only that, I checked, they updated their photos, and the most valuable game that I wanted in my collection, it was one of the games that they had sold to someone separately. So it would have been a complete mugging off. I would have got the games cheaper buying them at CEX. That's when you know it's a bad deal. They were actually going to take the money for the full 32 game bundle and only ship me 29 games because they had sold 3 of them separately at the same time I had paid for the 32 game bundle. It was an absolute joke. But yeah, carrying on because I don't want to get into that too much. Let's jump into the bundle that I'm disappointed with as well. And yes, there's going to be quite a lot of ranting and stuff in this video, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm collecting games. Absolutely love doing this. I kind of regret taking the massive 10 or so month break that I did. Imagine where my collection would be now if I was doing it consistently for 10 months. But I mean, we'll get there because I'm not going to stop this now. I'm absolutely in love with it again. And not only that, playing all the old games. If you guys have a chance, just play some old games. Any from your childhood, any that look cool that you would never normally think of buying because you're into modern games and stuff. Trust me, the retro classic gaming is where it's at. I've had so much fun in the last couple of weeks doing all of this. But definitely now into the bundle. The very first game we have is Call of Duty 2 Big Red One. Yep, we are starting off with a game that does not come with a manual. It should come with a manual. Unfortunately, it's not CIB. And then the next one we have is GTA Vice City, absolute classic. Open it up. Yes, there's a manual. Look behind it. There's no map with it. It's a shame. I think I've got a CIB copy of Vice City, but it's always nice, those maps, absolutely, it's one of my favourite things in a video game case, is seeing maps. One of the reasons I was in a charity shop, and this was the beginning of the year, I think, or very late 2024. The only reason I picked it up, I bought myself Skyrim. I picked it up because I opened up the case, and the map in that case is like an actual sort of, I don't even know what you would call the material. It is like a mesh sort of material. It's not like a paper poster map sort of thing. It's a very, very nice material, and it's got some really old sort of smell to it. And yeah, I'm probably a weirdo for saying that, it's got a very unique smell for a video game map, but it was so cool to experience having something like that, so I grabbed it. PS3 copy. I've never played too much of Skyrim, never been a massive, massive fan of the Elder Scrolls games, but I was absolutely buzzing when I saw it in a charity shop, took it straight to the till and got it. And then if we carry on with the PS2 bundle, we now have Call of Duty Finest Hour, and yes, we've got our first manual, but we've got one of those stupid circular stickers on the disc from Granger Games. I believe it's pronounced Granger Games, so overall, we've got one that can be added to the collection providing it works. Next up, we have Prisoner of War, World War II, and we open it up, boom. There's a like a security alarm in the memory card holder. The disc is in there, but there is no manual, and I believe it's supposed to come with a manual. But then next up, moving on, we have Lara Croft's Tomb Raider Anniversary, and yep, again, no manual. I'm going to say just under half of the games in this bundle had no manual with them. And then this is one of the first big hitters in this bundle. Dirge of Cerberus, I believe it's pronounced, Final Fantasy VII, and yes, it's CIB. CEXL this one for 15 quid on its own. I think, like, I paid £30 for this bundle, CEXL for 91, and even though it weren't the best condition, I think 4 of the games I got that are CIB, providing they work, but the discs all look good, are over the 30 quid that I paid. So overall, I'm happy with it, but there are some disappointing things. Next up, we have Call of Duty 3, manual and disc. Not too bad condition on the disc as well. Unfortunately, I already own it. Then we have Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. No, not the remake. This is the old PS2 one. This one, again, CIB. So we're doing alright at this stage. Not been too many. Moving on, we've got CT Special Forces Fire for Effect. Again, another CIB game. So it does seem good. Like, overall, there are more CIBs than there are not. But we do get to the point where there's a few, I'm going to say, shitters in a row. Including one game that I need. I believe it's Medal of Honor Frontline. I think I eventually got it in the bundle anyway because there was like 2 copies, but one of the cases had Rising Sun in it. They're not even the right game. And next up, we've got GTA Liberty City Stories, the cheaper one of the Stories GTA games by a long shot. Open it up. It's not CIB, unfortunately. Next up, we've got another game. I've never played this, never been a fan of Star Trek, but we have Star Trek Conquest, and this one is CIB. So this one is going into the collection. And the ones that are going into the collection so far are the more expensive ones. So I'm buzzing about that at least. And then next up, gutted about this. There's damage to the case. Not too bad. I mean, you can just replace the case and it's fine. But it's Need for Speed Pro Street. You open it up and there's no bloody manual. So this one is not going to be going into my collection. The only thing I want in my collection is CIB games. I'm not too bothered about the condition as long as they work and they're CIB. I don't want them being mint or sealed all the time or anything like that. But next up, we've got another really good one. Final Fantasy XII. This one, CIB. It seems as though some of the really poor games in this bundle were not CIB. All of the heavy hitters within this bundle, because I know they're not massive games. They're not like £500 grails and stuff. But all of the good games in here were CIB. And next up, we have Motor Siege Warriors of Prime Time. And this one is not only CIB, but it comes with that receipt. This receipt dates all the way back to 2009. It was sold at Granger Games in Marygate, wherever that is. But yeah, this is a 16-year-old receipt. This is older than any of my kids. The receipt, this game was sold and has proof of sale dating back older than my kids. And then obviously we had the 2008 receipt with one of the Call of Duty games as well. But yeah, 16 and 17-year-old receipts. I'm surprised they've still got writing on them. And then here we go. This is the cat or dog scratched games. Pro Evolution Soccer 5. Not only are there 2 discs in there, one's normal, one's platinum, no manual, and I'm pretty sure this one was supposed to come with a manual, but both the discs, I'm actually a little bit scared to put in my PS2. I probably will, just to see what happens with them. But then moving on, we've got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I don't recall ever actually playing this game, but it's got a £30 sticker on the front of it, and it's another one that is CIB. So it will be going into the collection. Then we've got Sniper Elite 1. Just Sniper Elite. And I was a little bit confused about the manual because it just says Survival Handbook. But I have double checked it on Moby Games and it is the correct manual, correct disc. So that is another CIB going in the collection. Then this one, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this game before we move on from it. This is The Sims. The Sims #1 on the PS2. And this holds a lot of memories from when I was a kid. It used to be one of my favourite games to play. And if I remember correctly, there was always a certain way I played the game. Because basically, you progress in this game. Like, you start off with nothing, you work your way up the career ladder, and you just eventually move into bigger and better houses, if I remember correctly. But the main thing that sticks out in my memory is you start off in your first house, You just basically do everything to get by, save up the money, you move to your second house, and when you're there, I believe you spend some money on buying yourself a computer so you can look for a job, and I always took the job to go and work for the military because it was the highest paying job. And I mean, I don't know if that's even close to being a set path in the game. I'm pretty sure you can take multiple jobs. But yeah, I just have that standout memory of The Sims 1, just moving into the second house, taking the military job because it paid the most. That's always, it's just been a long-term gaming memory. I have no idea why, but I spent a lot of time playing The Sims when I was a kid. And I'm so glad this was one of the CIB games, because it's going straight into my collection. But then moving on from The Sims, the next game we have is Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. And yeah, I'm gutted with this one because I kind of like these Platinum games. I know a lot of people don't like them, but yeah, it's not CIB, so it's not going into my collection. The next up, I don't think I've ever touched this game. I've seen it on shelves multiple times over the years. Yeah, The Sum of All Fears. I don't know what it's about. I couldn't tell you anything about it. It does mention Tom Clancy at the top of the manual, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to test it, and I'll at least see what the gameplay is like. But yeah, CIB going into the collection. And then next up, we have the Sniper 2, and again, no manual in the case, so it's going to be one that does not make it to the collection. I am gutted with some of these games because I would love to have added them to the collection, but I won't because they're not CIB. And then yeah, this is the first of Medal of Honor Frontlines, and yeah, it's got the Rising Sun disc in it. I've had it a few times now where I order a bundle and the wrong disc is in the case, but then we move on to the second Medal of Honor Frontline, and yay, we've got CIB and we have the right disc. That one is, again, a game that I don't have in my collection, so it will be added. And I believe after this bundle, because I was a 61 PS2 games, if these games work, because I've not yet tested them, I will be sitting at 73 games in the PS2 collection. So we are slowly making some moves with it. And then another game, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. I would have liked to have added this. I believe I've got 04 at the moment. But again, not CIB, so it doesn't go in the collection. And that was also the final game to showcase from this bundle. So yeah, overall, I'm glad because I saved myself some money. If I went into CEX for the games that I'm potentially keeping in my collection, I would have paid a lot more than I did from the bundle. But yes, I am also disappointed because I would have put that as satisfactory just for, because I've checked, obviously I didn't show you guys in the footage, but I checked all the discs, and I'm gonna say around 30 to 40% of those discs are in really bad condition. I think some of them might work because the scratches are minor scratches. There are lots of them, but there's no deep scratches. But both of the Pro Evolution Soccer 5 discs, normal and platinum, are absolutely battered. I actually think I could have let my cat scratch the discs to pieces and they would have been in better condition. And my camera hasn't captured them in the best quality possible. The scratches are really, really bad on the discs. I mean, you can kind of see in the pictures, even the top of the platinum disc is battered with scratches. So yeah, I think it should have been put down as good at the very best. There's no way it should have been listed as a very good condition bundle. I personally would have put it satisfactory. Even if I'm selling a bundle with 100 games in, if one of them is like that PES 5 disc or the PES 5 discs, then I'll just put it down as satisfactory. Or even just take the game out of the bundle. Chuck it in the bin, do whatever you've got to do with the discs. That you can't even salvage them with a resurface machine. I think they're that badly gone. But yeah, overall, it was okay because I got games that will go in my collection that I'm going to say are a little bit on the rarer side, especially when you compare to games, let's just say your Call of Duty titles and stuff, the ones that are really common to get your hands on. I've looked through hundreds upon hundreds of bundles, and there are games like CT Special Forces, The Urge of Cerberus for Final Fantasy VII, even Final Fantasy XII, I don't see too often in bundles. And then another one, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. They're all CIB, they're all going into my collection, you don't see them often, and I actually saved money buying the bundle over going to CEX and buying them. So overall, it's alright, but that is the risk you take with buying bundles online. Sometimes you can pay very good money for a product, and it's not what you expected. Other times you can pay very little for products, and it could be way beyond your expectations. But yes, I still absolutely love buying bundles. I love going to the shops in person and picking up some of my games, and I'm going going to continue to do so. As I said, I've left the person 5 stars of feedback. I'm just going to move on, scroll through Vinted, find more bundles, buy them, build up the collections. I believe we're sitting at like 45 360 games. I think, like, providing they all work, all the ones that I need to test. I think we've got like 45 360 games, 73 PS2 games, and overall, including, I think there's a few PS3, PS4, Xbox One. Like, I've got a few games scattered around for other consoles as well. Like, I've got 2 Mega Drive games. I think I've got 2 or 3 PS1 games as an example. Including, like, basically adding up the value of pretty much my entire collection, because I feel there are a couple of games that I still haven't added to my collection. But at the moment, on price charting, it says I own 148, I think it's 148 games in total. And the value, even though you need to take it with a pinch of salt because it fluctuates all the time, the value is currently sitting at, I think it's around £1,060. So my collection is slowly getting there. Again, I've not been in the game for too long when it comes to collecting, because I did it for a month or two when I first started. Then I took a massive 10-month break, and I've only been back doing it for about 2 weeks or so. But I'm not taking any breaks this time. This is me in it for the long haul. I would love to one day have a set or two, like a full set of games for a certain platform. I don't know if it's ever going to be PS2, because there's like 3,000 or something games you need to buy. I think I originally said it's 3,224, but that's including hardware on price charting. If you take the hardware out, I think there's like 3,100 and something games. There's a lot of games, and some of them you're talking a few £100 for a single copy, and they're very, very hard to get your hands on. So I might start with even a subset like PS2 Platinums, or I might get the Wii U games, or I don't know, but I would love to one day have a full set. That is my goal, and as I said, I only put CIBs into my collection. I don't care if they're mint condition, as long as they work and they are CIB, that's all that matters to me. If they're mint condition, bonus. If they're sealed, even bigger bonus. I mean, as long as the seal's genuine, as long as the games are genuine, that's the biggest thing. I'm seeing more and more videos popping up where people are being mugged off with fake games. But yeah, that was a look at the PS2 bundle that I got my hands on from Vinted. The biggest bundle that's coming. I'll just sort the games out and then show you guys the update to my collection, because there are 69 games coming in one bundle. It cost me quite a bit of money to get my hands on, and there are a mixture of platforms in there, mostly PS2 and 360, but I think there's a couple of PS4, maybe some OG Xbox, maybe some PS3. But yeah, it's going to be fun going through that, checking if they're all CIB, adding them into the collection, the spreadsheet database, testing them all, making sure they work, putting them into my collection in alphabetical order. It's all going to be an absolute blast. I'm absolutely loving this collecting, and I hope you guys are enjoying these videos too. But on that note, that was a look at the PS2 bundle. We are going to leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about these games. Would you have accepted this bundle and given them 5 stars, or would you have moaned about it? Let me know everything in the comments, and also if you've played any of the games before. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.